Hello everyone, welcome to another interesting episode of Real Estate Unfiltered with Sheila. On today's episode, we'll be discussing a very important topic, deal breakers for property investors in Nigeria. To shed more light on this topic, I have with me the Head of Business Development Executives, Periwinkle Condos Limited, Mr. George. Hello, Mr. George.
Hi, Sheila.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so today we're discussing deal breakers for property investors in Nigeria. And I know you are a seasoned investment advisor with so many years under your belt. So because of dealing with these property investors, I know they've had lots of deal breakers why you couldn't go ahead with your transaction. So today, can you shed more light on what these deal breakers are?
Okay, so thank you, Sheila, for this wonderful topic. Basically, it's more like different strokes for different folks, actually. You know, a lot of things can make a lot of people not to buy some properties, actually. But I'm going to be talking about some basic ones that actually like the ones we see on a regular,
Okay.
the basic ones, actually. So the first of my list is the location. You know, everybody that wants to buy a home has a specific location they want. You don't want to exceed that location, right? So after the location, you now talk about the pricing. I mean, if the pricing doesn't fit into my budget, I don't see what I'm doing there. Then we'll talk about the structure of the house. Does the structure is the structure what I want? Does it fit what I want? The kind of home I want for myself, or if I want to use it for any kind of business, you know. Then we talk about the detailing, talk about the detailing, the space in the house, the living room, the kitchen, the master's bedroom, then I think then you talk about the title. What title does the document, the property has? The likes of the governor's consent, the certificate of occupancy, and others. So basically, that's just some few points now.
Okay, thank you so much for that. From all the points you've mentioned, I can see that most of these have to deal with the developer directly, aside the location, and even the location to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So what do you think developers in Nigeria can do differently to curtail these problems, that you've just pointed out?
Just pay more attention to detailing. When you're building your property, try to get properties in a good location. Try to build on properties in a good location. When you're building, try to pay attention to the living room, the kitchen, the master's bedroom, and when you're doing your finishing, you pay attention to the kind of tiling you're using, your lighting, and the rest. That's what I think we can do. And lastly, when you're trying to acquire a land to build any property for an investor, also make sure that the land has a good title.
That's where due diligence comes in.
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. You've done proper justice to this topic. And guys, there you have it, deal breakers for property investors in Nigeria. But just before we end today's episode, we're going to have our usual trivia questions. And I am very sure Mr. George is not expecting this question I'm going to ask him. So let's see if he knows it. Okay. So, Mr. George, what is the longest river in the world? And just before you answer, I know that you have something in mind that is wrong. Oh, can go ahead.
Longest river in the world.
Yes.
River Nile.
Okay, guys. I actually thought he was going to fail it, but apparently he did not. So, Mr. George is not just a real estate guru. Apparently, he knows a lot of things as well. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys.